It was the next morning from our first night, and it was time to go to Mackinac Island. The ferry tickets were $34 a piece for each adult, and we did the ferry ride that takes you under the bridge, which they do at no extra cost at certain times.
Good morning and welcome aboard Felicity for your trip to Mackinac Island. Trip's going to be a little bit longer than the normal 15 minutes. We're going to go out underneath the Mackinac Bridge. You'll get some photo opportunities. I'll tell you a few fun facts about it and then we'll be off to the island.
I believe the high for the day was supposed to be around 67, 68 degrees, something like that. That morning during this ride, it was 50 degrees, so it was very cold on top. I had my hoodie all bundled up over my ears. Once we crossed under the bridge, we went from Lake Huron to Lake Michigan. Once off the ferry, we walked to where the carriage rides were. It was about a block and a half away. I think it's cute. Like the town, I think it's just cute. So we got the Mackinac package for the carriage ride, which includes admission to several different places, such as the Butterflies and Fort Mackinac, and a couple of other places which we ended up not going into. The total cost was $73 per adult.
Thank you. All right.
All right, keep those tickets close and have a great tour.
Wood, Jake, step up. All right. Like you said, my name is Brent. Up here on the left is Wiz, on the right is Jake. And no, he does not work for State Farm. They are a team of Belgians. You will wind up seeing some Belgian waffles that they may leave on the ground. If you'd like to pick them up, you can come back and get them later. Has anybody been to Mackinac Island before?
Yes.
All right. Where you guys want to give a tour? You may know more than I do. Up here on the left is Dow's Market. It is the oldest market in the nation that's been run by the same family since 1884. We'll be turning left here. Once we get around all these lilac trees here, they did finally bloom, and they were in season for the Lilac Festival that was all last week. But Marquette Square here, Father Marquette came over in the late 1600s and did some missionary work with the natives around here. And up the hill a little ways, you can see, once we get around all these trees, you'll see one of the huts that he would have been doing his missionary work in. This house here on the left is the oldest one on the island, dating back to 1760, and you can see some of the, how they would have done the tongue and groove. Step up. Did the tongue and groove on the cabins building it. You guys can do this. Oh, this ain't nothing for them. Alright, well here on the right is the American Fur Retail Store. It is a little museum now for Dr. William Beaumont, who back in the day, Alexis St. Martin was shot in the stomach in that building. At the time, it would have been a fatal injury, but Dr. Beaumont was able to kind of stitch him up. He left about a golf ball size hole flap in his stomach, and he did about 250 experiments in food tied to string in his stomach, and found out that it was enzymes and not muscles that do the digestive work. That is also how we found out that wall steaks are not very good. On the left is a veterans memorial from the War of 1812 all the way to modern day conflict. Any of the Mackinac Island residents that have served are listed on there. The United States Post Office is the only one like it in the country. Whether it comes rain, snow, sleet, or shine, you have to come down to get your own mail. They do not deliver to people's houses. The Stewart House and the Community Hall, John Jacob Astor's businesses. The Stewart House would have been his offices, and the Community Hall would have been lined with furs up and down. He was the first claimed to be the first self-made millionaire in the country. He made about $3 million a year, which now would be about $82 million a year. I know those said to be the oldest lilac on the island at about 300 years old. Michigan State came out and did a core sample of them. So you can also see that this is also known as Lilac Lane due to all the different lilacs on it. A couple weeks ago when I was doing this, lilacs were not out yet, so I didn't get to see it like this. But the festival is usually the first week, starts about the first Friday or Saturday in June. Luckily, with May being as chilly as it was, the lilacs held out and we're actually here for their own party. We do have a K through 12 school, which was right back here on the left. You can kind of see the roof of it. But all 6 of the seniors did graduate this year. 6. Well, one of the things you guys all came to see is the Grand Hotel. It was originally built in 1887, 160 original rooms, and the world's largest covered front porch at 660 feet. Does anybody want to take a guess on how long it took to build the original 160 rooms?
3 years.
Lower than 3 years.
Longer?
Lower.
Lower.
Lower than 2 years.
1 year.
Lower than 1 year.
Oh, come on.
Any other guesses?
2 months.
Lower than 6 and 2 months, I heard?
Yeah.
All right. Well, you are closest without going over. Price is Right rules here. And so, Jake will drop your, actually, he dropped your prize way back there. You can go back and get it if you'd like. It was actually 93 days. They had an army of about 600 people building it, at least 600.
At this part in the tour, you get off at Surrey Hill, and this is where you can go to the restroom. They have a lot of different shops, a lot of little snack places, and this is where the butterfly exhibit is. And they also have a barn with a lot of old carriages.
I guess you don't get off the Grand.
Afterwards, they did have a little gift shop.
It's got like a lantern on it.
There are restrooms in here, and also there is a barn where they keep the horses, but unfortunately, you couldn't go into where the horses were. For the second part of the tour, you get a 3-horse carriage instead of a 2-horse carriage, which is the first part. So you get a little bit more people on the tour. You just get in line to get on the carriage.
I don't know why. Here off to my right, this is the cemetery. This is the first of 5 that we have here on Mackinac Island. This is the public cemetery. Now, contrary to popular belief, you can still be buried on Mackinac. You either have to be born on the island, a resident for 15 years, a taxpayer for 10 years, the governor of Michigan, or a registered member of any Anishinaabe tribe, and also dead, but that's a given. Y'all are a tough crowd. I'll break you eventually. Now, from this gate onward, it's St. Anne's Catholic Cemetery, and I want y'all to take note of this little wooden sign right here. Alcoholic beverages are prohibited. And yet they still have the audacity to call themselves Catholic. No, but this cemetery here used to sit downtown. Do y'all remember those green and white buildings from the first half of your tour? Yeah, so that's where this sat. And they brought the entire cemetery back here into the state park over the course of one day. Yeah, they moved it because, believe it or not, they thought it was ugly having it be the first thing you saw off the boat, and they thought it would deter the tourists. So, tombstones in one carriage, caskets in another. They wrote on the side of the casket who it belonged to in chalk, brought them back here, put in these nice neat piles for the families, and then they went home because it was like midnight. Well, when they came back the next day to rebury everyone, they realized that it had actually rained overnight. So we're like pretty sure the families are buried together. Maybe. Or they're not there at all. Because they left anywhere from 1/4 to half the bodies downtown when they moved the cemetery. Womp womp. Where that is now the Twilight and the Windsor, obviously, as well as the Kingston Kitchen and Pontiac Lodge. And all of Hoban Street. So have fun when you guys are downtown. You guys see that tree right there? Yeah, that's rookie tree. All of our new hires have always smacked into it on their first tour. So they put the rock there. That's called rookie rock. They still hit the rock. I went a full month before hitting either. So I think I'm just okay at my job. Here at the art show, like I said, there's a lot to do. For instance, you see those staircase right there off to my left? Don't go up that. There's nothing up there. There's not even a view. Just a little statue that a dude was there at one point. But if you go past those stairs, there's the Arch Rock. There's an upper and lower viewing area. Or there's this big old wooden building coming up here in front of us. That's the Milliken Nature Center, but we here at Carriage Shores call it Fort Man I Gotta Pee. There's restrooms off to your right and a Natural History Museum off to your left. Now, like I said, 7 minutes. It's currently 11:30, so be back on my carriage by 11:37 because I will leave with or without you after 11:37. So listen for my 2-minute warning. That's when you start making your way back. You're welcome to leave your stuff on my carriage. And
This place was so crowded, and the driver said we only had 7 minutes to explore. So we tried to get up there and get our views and get down.
Yeah, I want to go check it out.
Sorry. Where are they? Find your way.
I just carry this right now.
That kind of like could go slow.
we ever break it. So I think we get to make the trail. We figure it out.
It's a bit warmer out.
Everybody take a picture together. Look on. I don't think I would have walked up there anyway.
Okay, I just thought it was really
There are several buildings that you can walk into and look around in. I didn't show all of them, just so you have an idea of what the fort is like, though I did show some. I think they do it at the hour. 3 minutes.
How's everyone doing today? The 1880s, specifically the number straight from my helmet, the number 23. Now, the soldiers from the 23rd Infantry Regiment that would have been stationed here at Fort Mackinac from 1884 to 1890. And at this point in time in the fort's history, it's not serving any really military purpose. It's serving as the headquarters of America's second national park that have been on Mackinac Island from 1875 all the way to 1895. And in theory, every single soldier stationed here would be the caretakers of that national park. But of course, they're still soldiers. They're able to maintain more of the soldierly duties. They're doing things like guard duty, which is obviously just guarding the fort, fatigue duty, which is just manual labor and chores, and also mandatory marksmanship training that the Army would have made mandatory in 1885 with the blunt training system. This now requires every single soldier to go up to the rifle ranges at least twice a week behind the fort. Now, the reason why they're doing this would be due to a lot of defeats out west, as well as the new rifle they're implementing, the Springfield 4570. Now, before this, so that's where you're taking your paper cartridge, fighting your own, pouring down the barrel, running everything down the front, using your percussion cap, all that kind of stuff. But with this, you don't have to do any of that. This is a free-floating rifle. So all I have to do to load this is just pull this hammer back twice like that, open the breech block, take a fairly modern-looking brass 4570 cartridge, which is filled with 70 grains of black powder. At the top, as you can see, I'll be firing blanks today for obvious safety reasons. But at the top, we're going to 45 caliber lead bullet. So all the soldiers have to do is just take that, put it in the breech, close that breech block, pull that hammer back one more time, and they'd be ready to fire. Now, they'd be using these kind of rifles on the rifle ranges they would have had behind the fort, one of which being a 600-yard rifle range, which if a soldier could hit consistently, they would earn the designation of marksman, which 58 soldiers here at Fort Mackinac earned. Now, there would have been 80 to 100 soldiers here at Fort Mackinac at the time. They would have had another rifle range a little deeper into the island by Sugarloaf, which would have been a 1,000-yard rifle range. So with that, I'll turn about 3 rounds for you today, so I hope you all enjoy. If I could have you guys move up to behind the black barrel, please, thank you. Can you please get off the parade ground? Thank you. A little bit further, please. Thank you.
Oh, a steam vent trapdoor. Okay. There is a gift shop here, and so we decided to take a look. Oh, wow. That's some view.
Go out the back way. Take a picture.
Now, I may have lost my temper, but I meant no disrespect. Sir, this whole mess is just a misunderstanding. I'm not guilty of anything. Is that how you plan to leave? Yes, sir. Thank you, God. See you at your trial.
Well, acquittals were rare in garrison courts, Marshal.
The fort could finally start to bring the park closer to Thomas Ferry's original vision and make it more accessible and enjoyable. With a new tourism boom, the island's increased notoriety and cost.
Michael, come here.
It was already past noon, and everybody was hungry. I really wanted to eat somewhere else on the island that I had thought about, but since everybody was kind of hungry and this place was here, we decided to eat here. However, I really wish we hadn't, because once I looked at the menu, there really wasn't that much to offer. I ended up getting a bowl of chili and some pretzel bites, and everybody else got a hamburger and chips. The positive side was it had a great view.
Would you like to go there? Because that goes up. All that does goes on top.
Look out.
If space allows, you can catch another carriage back to Surrey Hill, And then from there, you can catch another 2-horse carriage back to the starting point. But we decided to catch the carriage and go to the Grand Hotel. That carriage didn't go all the way to the Grand Hotel, so it stopped as close as it could get. It was about a 10-minute walk from there. It costs $12 to explore the grounds and some of the areas in the hotel. It's pretty. Cool.
I would just say, in my world, unless it's more these quicker
There is a bar on the 4th floor that you can go into. That bar extends to the 5th floor, which actually has better views. Wow, look at that pool. It's got a slide. hotel has the world's longest porch, measuring 660 feet long. And you can sit out here and rock. It was about a 10-minute walk back to the downtown area. On the way, we saw this church. We did see it on the carriage ride, but it was on the other side, so I couldn't get a very good look at it. But now that I'm on foot, I was able to get a good look. Once we were downtown, we went through several shops, looking around, and ended the day back at the ferry to get off the island. The sun finally came out right after lunch. It ended up being a beautiful day, but when we were sitting waiting for the ferry, it was taking quite a while and the sun was kind of beating down on us. So might want to bring some sunscreen just in case.
Welcome aboard the Felicity for your trip to St. Ignace. Your safety is our #1 priority, so we ask that you pay close attention to the following information. Life jackets aboard the Felicity are located on the top deck on either side of the pilot house and on the port side of the stairwells on the aft deck. We ask guests to refrain from eating, drinking, vaping, or smoking.
Port side is, that would be the left side of the vessel as you're
gonna get wet.
So, in the event that you decide you want to move, please hold on back seats and handrails. Thank you.
The spray's gonna come up.
Yep, I can already feel it.
Thank you.